I thought owning a farm meant I could finally have some peace and privacy. Then the HOA president showed up at my front gate without warning. She claimed she had the right to inspect my entire property. What she didn't know was that I was already inside working on a federal case. Her name was Karen, and she was the HOA president. She arrived acting like the entire county belonged to her. She pointed at my private gate and demanded that I open it. I calmly asked her for the authority behind the inspection. Karen told me the HOA rules gave her permission to inspect the property. I reminded her that my farm was private property. She became even more frustrated when I refused to unlock the gate. Then she made a decision she would regret. Karen looked at the lock and then at her vehicle. A few minutes later, she returned carrying heavy bolt cutters. I couldn't believe what I was watching. She was actually preparing to cut through my private gate. I didn't yell. I didn't threaten her. I simply watched as she destroyed the lock, protecting my property. And I quietly recorded everything from where I stood. The lock hit the ground with a loud metallic snap. Karen stepped through the gate like she had just won an argument. She had no idea how important that little piece of evidence would become. I followed her from a safe distance. Karen began inspecting everything she could see. She looked at the barn, the equipment, and even the livestock areas. She kept writing notes as if she were conducting an official government inspection. But she had no idea who she was actually inspecting. While Karen was distracted, I sent one simple message. The message went to someone who knew exactly what was happening. I didn't need to explain much. They already knew why I was living on this farm. Karen followed me toward the barn. She said she needed to inspect the structure for HOA compliance. I asked her to stay outside the restricted work area. She ignored me again. What Karen didn't know was that the barn wasn't being used for farming alone. I had been collecting information connected to a federal investigation. Every object she was casually looking at had a reason for being there. Her surprise inspection had just walked into something much bigger. Karen noticed a locked cabinet and immediately asked what was inside. I told her it wasn't part of any HOA inspection. She insisted that she had a right to know. That was the first moment I realized she might not leave voluntarily. I told her clearly that she needed to leave that area. Karen accused me of hiding something. She didn't realize how accurate that accusation actually was. I was hiding something, but not from her for the reason she imagined. Karen stormed outside and made a phone call. She told someone that I was refusing to cooperate with her inspection. Then she said something that caught my attention. She planned to bring authorities onto my property. I didn't panic when I heard that. In fact, I almost smiled, because Karen had just made the exact call I was hoping she would make. Someone was finally coming who could explain the situation to her. A sheriff's vehicle soon appeared at the end of the driveway. Karen rushed toward the sheriff and started explaining her side. She expected him to immediately take control of the situation. Instead, he looked at the broken lock first. Sheriff Tom picked up the broken lock. He asked Karen who had authorized her to cut it. Her confident expression suddenly changed. For the first time that afternoon, she looked uncertain. Karen insisted she was conducting an HOA inspection. She claimed the community rules gave her authority. The sheriff listened without interrupting. Then he asked one simple question. "Is this your property?" The answer was obvious. The farm belonged to me, not the HOA. Karen still insisted she had inspection authority. That was when the sheriff asked to see the written rule she was relying on. Karen flipped through her papers. She found the HOA rules, but couldn't find anything giving her the authority she claimed. The sheriff looked at the documents carefully. Then he turned back toward me. I told the sheriff there was something he needed to know. I reached into my jacket and showed him my federal credentials. His expression changed immediately. Karen's face went completely blank.